Hi everyone, welcome back to Crafting at Whimsy Wonderland. My name is Stacy. Today's craft I have for you is a little carrying caddy. It's going to have mason jars in it, and you can use it to hold knives, forks and spoons, and straws at your barbecue, or paintbrushes, pencils, anything you need to, small things that you need to store and be able to carry with you. So what you need for this craft is one of these paper towel holders from the Dollar Tree. You need a Dollar Tree cake plate or cake pan. You can use a pie pan, but the cake pan has straighter sides and I think it holds the jars in better. You're going to need some E6000, and you're going to need some of this foam mounting tape from the Dollar Tree. This is the super glue brand, so it's extra sticky, and extra sticky is important. You're going to need a piece of paper. So the first thing I did was I put my pan down on the piece of paper and I traced the circle around the bottom edge. Then I folded it into fours, and then I lined it up on my paper towel holder to figure out how far my notch needed to be. I just put the paper like halfway over the paper towel holder, and then I cut a notch in my paper. And when I opened it up, it fit right into the pan. And then I took my Sharpie marker and I just traced that hole that was in my paper. And then I took it out to the drill. I used the drill press because my husband has a lot of tools, and drill press was just easier than a drill. And I just drilled a whole bunch of little holes across where I had drawn the little marks from the template. Okay, then I just drilled all those out, and I used my wire cutters and I clipped all the holes, and it's really jagged right now, but you can also use a file rasp to smooth those down. But I also have another way I'm going to fix this. So it's going to have some raw edges on it, so be careful not to cut yourself while you're working on it. Once it gets glued together, there's a way that I'm going to cover that up so that nobody will get hurt. Okay, I'm going to put this aside for a few minutes, and I'm going to get my foam mounting tape. I'm tearing off two pieces. Okay, see how it's cut into rectangles? And I'm going to peel off the backing tape. And these still stick together, and I'm just going to fold it over so that I now have a double thickness of mounting tape. And I'm going to do that twice because I'm going to cut it into small pieces, but I need 8 little pieces. Whoops, I got my thumb stuck. Okay, so I'm done that twice, and then I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut this into 4 pieces. 1, 2. Right now there's still backing on both sides because what I peeled off, those 2 sticky sides went together. Okay, so now I have 8 little pieces. And if you take a look at this paper towel holder, you'll see that this wire that comes around and makes the paper towel holder part sits on top of this round wire. So if I put my pan down on that, it's going to rock back and forth. So this foam, double thick foam is going to be what keeps my pan from rocking back and forth. So I mainly need to buffer the wire. Okay, so I'm going to peel off one side of the backing on that little piece, and I'm going to bump it right up against the edge of that wire that comes across. And I'm going to do that on both sides of the wire. Okay, then I'm going to push it down, and then I'm going to peel off the backing. So now it's sticky. Okay, turn it around, and I'm going to do the same on the other side. Like that, my pan would still rock back and forth from side to side. So now I'm going to turn it, and I'm going to kind of divide this into thirds. Push it down, peel off the backing. Spin it around. Then I'm going to take my E6000. I'm going to use just a little dot on each one of these sticky pads. You could probably do without this part, but just for extra security. And then I'm going to put a bead of E6000 along this wire. Okay, then my pan goes over the top. Sorry about that. My pan goes over the top and slides down. Don't worry about these jagged edges right now. We're going to fix them in the next step. But right now, the important part is to get contact between the pan and the holder, and the E6000 is going to help us do that. So find something heavy to stick inside of there and let it sit overnight before we go on to the next step. All right, so my glue has had time to dry and the sticks are nice and secure on the sides and it looks pretty good. So what I'm going to do is I've got a small hammer, and you can probably get a small hammer at the Dollar Tree. I haven't looked. I'm going to stick the hammer in between the wires of the holder, and I'm going to tap down the edges that are curling up. I lost the footage of this step on my caddy video, so I'm showing you a video from a two-tiered tray, which is done in a very similar way, and I'll show you that video on another day. Don't worry about adding the sticks to the side because that's for the tray. Just go ahead and hammer down the middle like this video is showing you. This is going to require some more of this foam tape. So I've got 3 squares torn off. I'm going to take one off the backing and I'm going to line it up right up against the wire on the bottom. Okay, and I'm going to take the second one and I'm going to line it up right against the wire on the other side. Okay, so I have 2. I'm leaving the waxy backing on them. And then I'm going to take my third one and I'm going to cut down in about half, and I'm going to stick that right in the middle. Oh, I could have gone a little bit wider. This is where it gets tricky to kind of measure it. I could have put it up there, I guess, and marked it a little better, but I didn't, and now I'm cutting another piece. So what I'm just trying to do is cover completely that hole that I drilled and it's kind of sharp, okay? I'm just going to leave it like that on the bottom. The bottom is done. Okay. Now I've got my glue gun heating up. This is going to take a good puddle of glue, so make sure you have a glue stick, extra glue stick handy. Okay, so I'm going to flood in a good puddle of glue, and I'm going to make sure it gets all the way around the base of all of this. And as long as you don't touch it while it's cooling, it's going to dry pretty smooth. Okay, so I'm just making sure that all of that rough metal is buried in that puddle of hot glue. And I've got glue strings all over the place, and that's okay. They'll rub off. Then you just got to let it sit until that is completely cooled and dried. Once that glue dries and hardens, your caddy is done, and the only thing left to do is to decorate 4 mason jars into whatever style you want them to be. I prefer just to wrap them with a piece of burlap and a little bow and call it good. But that's all there is to creating the caddy. For the jars, you're going to need 4. I think this is a pint-sized jelly jar, and I prefer to get the ones that don't have much writing or any writing on them. I buy them at my thrift store. They're 25 cents. That just keeps the project at a manageable price. If you don't have a thrift store handy that has these, you can get them at Walmart in the canning section. And I like to leave the ring on. You could take it off and just have the jar if you want, but I think the ring just makes it look a little more finished. I just take out the lid part. Okay, all I'm going to do, I have this burlap and lace ribbon from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to wrap it around. First I'm going to square off my end. I'm going to wrap it around and see how big it needs to be. Overlap it just a tiny bit and go ahead and cut it off. This is a wire edged ribbon. It's fine. Um, I'm not going to glue it everywhere. I'm just going to glue it on the seam. So I'm going to put glue on the back of the ribbon and figure out where the center is of my jar, get it kind of straight, and push it down. Now the glue is going to come up through this burlap, so be careful, don't burn yourself. I think I've lost all feeling in my fingers from all the burns I've had. Anyway, then you're going to wrap it around and you're going to glue on top of what you just glued and glue down this top part. You can put more glue on it if you feel like you need to glue it all the way around. You go ahead and do that. Whatever works for you. Once you glue this on, you can't wash these anymore, and that's my only concern about putting burlap and stuff on here. I wish I could think of a way to make it kind of an elasticy kind of a thing where you could just like put it over, take it off, wash the jar, but I haven't figured that out yet. So if any brilliance comes to me or you guys have any ideas, post that down below. Now you could leave it just like this if you wanted to, or you can spruce it up a tiny bit more with a little jute bow. And if you've watched my videos, you know how I make my bows. 3 fingers. You're going to wrap it around 6 times, starting and stopping at the same place. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I started there, so I'm going to stop there. Oops, 6. I stopped at 5. That's not going to work. Go ahead and cut it. And cut yourself another piece of the twine. That's not very long. Try that again. This is going to become the tail, so make it a little bit long. All right, so you have your beginning and ending piece, and you're going to put those right under your thumb and push that together. So you're making a little bundle. And then take that piece of twine you just cut and tie a knot in the middle. Now I always tie 1 knot, then I make sure that my bundle part is in the middle, that it's centered. Then I tie it tight. Because twine has a way of moving around. Okay, tie it good and tight. Trim your tails. And then I'm going to glue this on, but I'm not going to glue it over the seam in case somebody wants to peel that off to wash the jar. I'm going to glue it right there in the middle. I'm just going to do that by putting a little dot on the back of the bow. And push it in there. And then all you have to do is make 4 of these and put them in your caddy, and you'll have a cute little service caddy to take for your barbecue or for your paintbrushes or pencils and pens on your desk, whatever you care to use it for. All right, I hope you've enjoyed this project. It's been a little work in progress. I've been working on it for quite some time. I've deleted and started over so many times I don't even want to talk about it. But I do also have a 2-tiered tray that follows the same construction method, and I will be editing that video and trying to get it up for you for tomorrow. But anyway, this is the service caddy, or the jar caddy, whatever you want to call it. And this has been Crafting at Whimsy Wonderland. Thanks for stopping by. I'll see you next time.